What's happening, guys? Alex here. Today we'll be taking a look at the new LEGO Ideas Caterham 7 620R. The very few sets from LEGO come out that when I see for the first time, I think to myself, I am going to buy it and build it no matter what the cost. That was the case with the Caterham 7. For some reason, this just really appealed to me. I think there's only two other sets that I've had this with where I saw it and needed it immediately, and that was the Ghostbusters Firehouse HQ that came out in January of this year, which was the most expensive set I think I've ever purchased, and the Cafe Corner Modular Building from 2007. When I saw those, I thought, man, I gotta have them, and I gotta have them now. And for some reason, the Caterham 7, I don't know, something about it really appealed to me when I first saw it, and I couldn't wait for it to come out. So now we have it here in front of us, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna build this thing, and then I will give you my review of it for whatever it's worth. Now, usually when I do my time lapse, I don't really show the unboxing, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to do the unboxing before we start our time lapse video. We've broken the factory seal, and inside typical poly bags. Let's see, number one, we have two and three. Looks like that's it. 3 stages, which is great. I like that LEGO does that. Here's the instruction booklet. Let's take a look at this thing. Looks like that's the only real thing to really show you guys that's in that box, but pretty darn thick, actually. I mean, I know it's a smaller size booklet, but let's go to the end here and see if it's actually all instructions on the car itself. Yep, looks like it is. We've got, let's see, 181 pages, 237 steps to build this bad boy. Let's take a look at the opening, or the beginning here. And we can kind of see this as a kind of a kit car, looks like, here, as it all comes apart. Looking forward to doing that. Caterham 7. Now, this would have been really cool if they did this color. I mean, don't get me wrong, the yellow and black is pretty cool, but I think it would have been really sweet to have the blue and orange one. I remember when it was on LEGO Ideas, the designer had actually like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 different variations of the vehicle, and it was pretty sweet. So, anyway, yeah, here we go. Being a fan, here is all about the LEGO designer himself. Good job to him. He did a really good job. In fact, as I'm looking at the picture of this, and I remember the models that he put together, pretty big difference, I think, because the designer is going to put a lot of effort into it. And then, unfortunately, I think when it gets to the LEGO designers, they dumb it down, so to speak, so that the commoners, such as ourselves, can actually afford it. So anyway, all right. So that being said, let's go ahead and put this thing together and see what the end result is. Alright, the Caterham 7 is built and it looks beautiful. This is the moment for any of you who have built LEGO for any amount of time will appreciate. This is the rare moment where your LEGO set just looks great. All brand new bricks. All the bricks just shine. They're free of scratches, blemishes. There's no dust on it, which is the enemy to all LEGO sets unless you count little toddler hands. The black on the tires is still black. That fades over time. So this is that moment that doesn't last very long, unfortunately, where your set is just pristine. The real reason, if I'm honest, that I built this straight out of the box upon purchasing, rather than, say, the Ferrari F40 or the Mini Cooper, which are very attractive vehicles, don't get me wrong, was just because this one was so unique. If you asked the average person, hey, look at this car, what do you think this car is? They probably wouldn't be able to answer. They probably would give some response of, oh, it looks like a hot rod or a race car because it's got the number 7 on it, right? In fact, while I was building it, it did remind me a lot of the hot rod builds from that Model Team set. That blue hot rod car came out some time ago. It was half the size, also half the price, but it did remind me a little bit of that while I was building it. So beyond it being aesthetically pleasing, what I really like about this vehicle is that there are no stickers Lego, thank you very much for that. I can't tell you how much I hate applying stickers, and that's fine for the short term, but in the long term, what happens to all stickers? And when I say all stickers, I mean all stickers. They peel, they crack, they disintegrate. For people like me, and probably like you, we'll have our sets, our Lego sets, for decades, and it's heartbreaking when we see them start to disintegrate like that, because we'll never get them back. So, Lego, good job there. As with any car, you got to check what's under the hood. I love the details that they've made to the engine here. The 620R is their most powerful engine for their road car. 310 brake horsepower in there. Goes 0 to 60 in 2.79 seconds, which is insanely fast. And tops out at a mere 155 miles per hour if you've got the real one in your garage. This Lego version is just going to be stationary. I do like the back of it. The compartment, the trunk, or whatever you want to call it, is very reminiscent of the Model Team Hot Rod that I mentioned earlier, except it has a considerably large amount of space in comparison. One more thing that really made me smile was these elements they have for the ventilated disc brakes. I'm going to pull this out here. You guys can see this a little closer. When I saw that in the bag, it put a smile on my face. I thought, yeah, that is cool looking. Unfortunately, you can't see them behind the wheel, but they're there. Now, no Lego set is perfect. There's always going to be something about everything that's going to bug you, and the Caterham 7 is no exception. Just a couple things, though, guys. Nothing too crazy. I was very disappointed to find out that it doesn't steer. These front wheels are stationary. They go straight. I was so bummed to find out that they just go straight. What I think happened is they probably... the design group probably had a choice between, well, okay, we can either do steering or we can do the engine. And obviously, given the choice, yeah, I would have done the engine too because it looks awesome. But I don't know. I think they could have worked it out. Maybe they've had to make it bigger, but that would mean it would cost more money. So all things considered, it can't complain too much. A minor annoyance I've discovered, and yes, this is a minor annoyance, so don't give me a hard time, is the nose. Obviously, it's angled a little bit, but if you give this thing just a little bit of trouble, it pops off every single time. Had this thing less than a day, and gosh, this really comes off a lot. But hey, I'll get used to it and handle it the right way. But just know that is pretty weak there. It's just this little hinge element 2x2 that's holding this on. So all in all, not a big deal, but you know, it kind of gets annoying after a while. All right, last complaint here. Promise this is the last one. It has to do with the interior, actually the dashboard here specifically. See how loose that is? Actually, just came out pretty easily there. All it is, it's got this little Technic element connecting to that hinge part right there, and that's it. So I was kind of disappointed that it was as weak as it was, but there wasn't more to it to hold it together. But again, it's a model, so you're not going to be playing with it. At least maybe I will. But yeah, pretty loose, unfortunately. I also don't like that the steering wheel hides those dials. If I take the steering wheel out, whoops. Very nice looking dials, right? But this steering wheel unfortunately covers them up pretty well. But maybe I'm just being petty. I don't know. That's the end of my gripes, though, guys. That's going to wrap up this review of the LEGO Ideas Caterham 7 620R. What a mouthful. Highly recommend this set. Great set. Not too expensive, 80 USD. It has 771 pieces. I also recommend it as an investment set. What I mean by that is you buy one to build like this, and you buy one just to put it on the shelf and forget you have it. And years later, you go, oh, cool. Wonder what this is worth these days. Maybe it's appreciated, maybe it hasn't. You never know. But I think this is kind of one of those sets to keep an eye on. Hopefully LEGO continues to come out with these types of sets. I love them. Or maybe even different variations of the Caterham would be pretty cool, I think. But we'll see. Only time will tell. All right, well, guys, let me know what you guys think about this vehicle. Thanks so much for checking it out, as always. And I will see you again in the very near future. We'll see you. Bye-bye.